Hi, I'm attachment specialist Adam Lane Smith, and today I want to talk to you about why women love and respect men who have emotional discipline. Now, that may seem like a no-brainer, but there's a deeper meaning behind it all, and I want to share with you exactly why it's so important for men to have emotional discipline, and especially in a relationship or while pursuing a relationship. So let's dive right into that. Number one, what is emotional? Emotional discipline. It's not having complete reactivity out of your control. It's when somebody challenges you and you don't just fly off the handle and become defensive and become angry. You don't become anxious every time someone tries to challenge you or just asks you something. You are emotionally calm and emotionally stable. Your emotions go like this instead of like this. Why is that important? And why is that especially important for women who are looking for a romantic partner? Well, it should be obvious, but it's not. Women are looking for someone who is stable. Women tend to be risk averse in their relationships. Men tolerate a little bit more risk from partners. Women, much less so. Biologically, there's a good reason for this, because for the vast majority of human history, we didn't have birth control. So if you were in a relationship, you were probably, as a woman, going to get pregnant. Biology doesn't change just because we invented the pill in the last 100 years. It doesn't change just because we have condoms now. It doesn't change just because we can control birth. Your biology does not change. So looking for a male partner who has emotional stability is key, because that creates predictability. It creates safety. It creates the reality that he's not going to punch you in the face just because you did something wrong that he didn't like. It creates emotional stability for the children that you may, at least biologically, think you might have. Emotional stability is huge. It also creates safety. If a man is not easily pushed around by people, well, number one, he's not going to get easily seduced by any other woman who comes along and tries to be a homewrecker, as they used to call them. He's not going to get seduced by the next blonde 20-year-old who walks by. He's going to say, no, I think I want to stay with my marriage. I value my wife. I'm not going to be led around by the nose by my emotions or my hormones. Because emotional stability and emotional discipline means you make decisions based on principles, based on honor, based on carefully considered facts. And that too creates good stability and predictability, because then, as a woman, you only need to understand his principles, his goals, his thinking. If you understand those, you can predict how he will act. If you as a man are led around by the nose by every feeling you have, you are unpredictable and unstable, and that creates a lot of insecurity in the female partner. Emotional discipline and low emotional reactivity, not having no emotions but not reacting emotionally to stimuli around you is hard, creates a lot more predictability and a lot more trust and security, which in turn amps up the female sex drive. Because again, 20,000 years ago, or a million years ago, you were going to get pregnant if you had sex. Almost certainly. If you were having regular sex with a partner, you were probably going to have 10, 15 kids. It doesn't change just because we have a pill now. Biology doesn't change to suit you. You change to suit biology. So, emotional stability means he is going to stay. It means he's predictable and you can keep him around. It also means he's going to think logically, which means he's going to want input, which means you, as a woman, will have a lot more to provide him as your wisdom and experience in life increases. Because if a man is emotionally reactive and doesn't cue into your insights and your thoughts and take your advice and take you on as a good, trusted counselor in his life, you have nothing to offer outside of sex appeal. And that decreases with age. Sorry to tell you, but when you're 80 years old, you will not look 20. What you will have is an overwhelming amount of experience, wisdom, and insight that is very valuable as life goes on, as long as the man is emotionally stable. As long as he values wisdom, experience, and insight. And those men are not emotionally reactive. They're emotionally disciplined. That is why emotional discipline is such an overwhelming, attractive quality in healthy women. even sometimes in unhealthy women. Emotional discipline is very, very crucial for attracting women, for being attractive. They don't want a man who breaks down sobbing at everything, who completely falls apart, who gets mad and screams at people. It is really unattractive. Really unattractive. You act like a child. Don't do that. Find your emotional discipline. And usually that comes from fixing your attachment. Attachment is number one. I also have another guide on here about how to decrease your bad reactions. So if you are in a marriage as a man and your wife is fed up with your bad reactions, I have a guide for that. A lot of it's decreasing your latent anxiety so that you're not stressed out and snapping all the time. If you have low emotional discipline and high emotional reactivity, it may be really difficult to build trusting relationships with your children, which, again, female biology is very strongly cued in to see what kind of father you would be if she did get pregnant. Even if she has no intention of getting pregnant, her brain is still in that place because that's what our brains evolved for. That's the genetics that survived. If you would make a very bad father, then you're probably not going to have a lot of sex. And you probably won't be attractive. And she might not even want you. Don't do that. Emotional discipline and low emotional reactivity are crucial. Some members of the online community call this frame, holding your frame, not letting anything outside of you shift your frame, your stance. It's taking a wide stance and not letting anything move you unless you choose to move. In martial arts, we teach people to widen their stance, to spread their legs farther apart, because it's harder to push someone over if their legs are wider. If they take up more space, if they have proper frame, it's hard to push them over. Then if your feet are perfectly together, someone just pushes you over. You need a wider stance. You need a wider mental stance, a wider emotional stance, so that you are disciplined and low reactivity, so that things can't move you. That is very attractive, because also it means nobody outside of the relationship can harm that family. That man will push back if someone tries to harm the family. That man won't just crumble under a tyrant or a thief or an attacker or someone who comes in to manipulate. He will push back and protect the family against manipulation. He will protect. Again, you may not like it with gender roles, but 20,000 years ago, the big buff guy was the protector rather than the 9 months pregnant woman having to fight off someone with a spear. The big buff guy was the protector. Biologically, that's what we're cued into. You, as a man, or you as a woman seeking a man, big frame, big stance, big emotional discipline, low emotional reactivity. Again, not having zero emotion, but having their own feelings and processing them and feeling the right feelings. Not overwhelming anger, overwhelming anxiety, but good intentional feelings and controlling the feelings that they have. That's what makes men instead of children. Emotional discipline makes a man. And women like men, not little boys, not projects, not pets, not liabilities. So if you are a man trying to attract women, work on your emotional discipline. I have other videos to teach you how to do that. If you're a woman and you're just finally figuring out why emotional discipline sounds so great, apply it. Find men who have high emotional discipline. They are probably a better bet than anyone who's insecure. Stop tolerating red flag insecurities in relationships because you won't be attracted to them. You just won't. Especially long term, your sex drive really will nosedive because it'll say, I shouldn't get pregnant from that guy. Emotional discipline. Crucial. Do it. Apply it. Thank you for watching. I'm Adam Smith, and if this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps spread the message. And leave a thoughtful comment below, if you would, about whatever in this video you just learned. Thank you. Until next time.